Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. And as usual with these DC shows, I'm Peter, and I'm joined with Connor.
Hey everyone.
We're going to talk about Arrow Season 4, Episode 11. It's called AWOL, and full spoilers as always. And to start this one, I feel like I need to just sort of reference last week's review a little bit, because last week I got kind of annoyed.
So we're starting on this end.
I guess we are. I got kind of annoyed last week because they put Felicity in a wheelchair, and she's already kind of the Oracle, and Arrow takes a lot from Batman, but this was like the one step too far for me, and it was kind of upsetting me. And I'll adhere that I was a little bit ranty last week, and there was great worry about this one because Reed read the synopsis a day or two ago, and it mentioned that Felicity was going to get a code name in this episode.
Yeah.
Which worried us greatly. We thought, are they actually going to use Oracle? And turns out that's not the case. They've called her Overwatch, which is fine. It works. Yeah.
It's apparently it was a fan suggestion. Like they took it from fans. Do you know what? I kind of like it. It's all right.
That's fine. That's fine. The timing's really weird though. They could have called her that
any time before.
Yeah, basically any time from about season 2 on, she could have got the codename of Overwatch.
To be fair though, Diggle only got a code name this season as well.
He did, but then again, we could have give her a codename at the start of the season.
Yeah. Because
they're always talking on comms, and I think traditionally you should probably not use your real names over the comms when you're doing this kind of thing.
I agree.
But so in that sense, right, I was not in a fit of anger in this episode because I was worried it was going to go down that path, and it didn't, which was nice. But
I cringed so hard.
And there was a but. Ollie calls her Overwatch. She says she likes it, and then Ollie says, "I was going to call you Oracle, but it's already taken."
Oh. Why? What was the purpose of that line?
I wasn't that. And see, the problem is though, is that it's the timing. They did this immediately after putting her in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Which is what bothers me about it more than anything.
Yeah.
And I get that it's just a wink wink, nudge nudge to fans who...
But it just felt really, really cringy.
It was really cringy. Partly because I hate the fact that they've basically turned her into...
But even if I didn't hate that, because, she's always kind of been on the edge of that anyway, minus the wheelchair.
Yeah.
But it was just so cringy, because then it's kind of implying that Oracle exists in this universe.
This is the outside thing, because obviously it's just meant to be a wink wink, nudge nudge, but he said it. He said, in character, he said, that's already taken. So my question is then, taken by who? Because does he know that a Batman exists? And that he has an Oracle? That would imply that he knows her fairly well.
Yeah. And then it raises the questions, why have we never heard anything about this other Oracle?
Yeah,
I get that it's already taken because DC told them they weren't allowed to because they had plans for Oracle.
Yeah.
But
in the show it makes no sense. But
yeah.
It particularly annoys me when I'm already pissed that they've turned her into Oracle. Like, fully. She was fine as she was. Like, Felicity, I mean, there's a lot of complaints we can have about Felicity and how they've kind of forced her upon, like, all the people who ship the couples and stuff, and she's really popular on Reddit and Tumblr.
She was rough in season 3, where she kind of just became a bit whiny.
Yeah, she's got a lot of those problems, but it makes sense for the team to have the tech person who can do this stuff, right?
Absolutely.
And that's basically the Oracle, and that was fine. Had they just called her Overwatch then, fine. But this line was so cringy. It was pointing out a connection which doesn't even really work because Batman doesn't really exist in this universe, at least as far as we know. And even if he does and we don't know about him, then why does Ollie know that he has a person called Oracle?
And if he does, why have we never heard of Batman? But, like I get there was references in the first season to, like, Bloodhaven and stuff like that, and it's like, alright, whatever, winks and nudges. But then we've got Flash, and we've got Atom, and we've got all these other heroes. We have, like, a mini league, essentially. And it's like, I feel like they'd have referenced the Bat at some point.
The only reference... Well, I mean, obviously there was the slight nod to Harley Quinn in season 2, right? That was a thing that happened. And the only other reference that might be a line later on in the show, but it's not popped up yet, was in the trailer of Legends of Tomorrow. Rip Hunter says, "I've seen Supermen die in Dark Knight's Fall."
Men of Steel.
Was it Men of Steel?
Yeah.
Whatever we phrased it.
But Also, in Flash Season 1, the newspaper from the future mentions Wayne Tech and satellites and stuff.
Right. So the implication is that Batman and Superman are going to be the last of the party.
Yeah, like they will exist.
They will exist at some point, but just outside of these shows, right? And that's fine because we know they're not allowed to use them, which is stupid, but it's fine, right? We can live with that. It's just this line does not work. It is cringy. It's awful. It's
by far the worst part of the episode.
It annoyed me the most.
It completely took me out of it, like of everything. It's like what? It made no sense to the point where it just completely just stopped me watching for a minute.
Yeah, it takes you out of it. Yes, that's exactly the way to say it because it just does not work. It makes no sense for him to say that line. No sense. It's just forced fan service bullshit.
Yeah, just utter nonsense.
And while you could argue a lot of stuff in this show is fan service, at least it still works in the context of the world. That line did not.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the worst fan service moment of the show yet.
With that said, let's talk about the rest of the episode. And as I said, full spoilers for everything. So Felicity's in a wheelchair. She's back in the apartment, and she starts seeing visions of herself talking to her with the dark hair.
I kind of enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Like,
why did you enjoy it?
I don't know. When it first started, and like obviously you can hear her voice, so you know it's her, and I kind of you figure pretty quickly where it's going before you even get the reveal. I was like, this could go really badly, but it didn't. It didn't ever feel massively over the top and stupid. They never played it like to a ridiculous angle.
I'd agree with that. I also weirdly think though that they didn't go far enough with actually. I felt when it stopped, like. I didn't feel like there was actually a proper arc for her, almost. She just kind of at one point showed up at the base, as if she'd had this revelation, and I didn't really get that from...
Yeah, like 5 minutes. There's a deleted scene somewhere. I'll agree with that.
There was a weird audio glitch there.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it's finished now. It was like a 1 second thing.
Oh. No, I was just saying, it feels like there's a deleted scene that we've missed out.
Yeah, it feels like something's missing from it. And even the final moment when she says, "This is me now," and she disappears, I thought that was really abrupt.
Yeah, this could have been over 2 or 3 episodes.
I don't think there was anything necessarily wrong. This is easily one of the better episodes of the season, probably. Mainly because what Arrow does best is action and like a siege type thing where they're all trapped in the building and then like, the teams try to get in to help them. That's the kind of setup that Arrow usually does well at, because it is just focus on the action and, you know, Overwatch, as we're calling her now, sort of like being the XCOM commander of the events, if you will. You can tell I've got XCOM in the brain, people. I'm sorry, but that works well, right? That stuff is fine. Definitely the most enjoyable part of the episode for me was when they all break in and they start fighting.
Oh,
absolutely. Fight scenes are pretty decent. Speaking of things when abrupt, though, I mentioned the Felicity thing. I thought the first scene of this episode. Like, this guy shows up just in front of them, says he's got information, and then he immediately gets shot.
Yeah. Kind of. Have we seen him before? I feel like we've seen him before.
He might have been a small character, like, in the background of Argos stuff at some point or another, but it just felt so random. And it's fine for a setup to have this kind of setup, but it just felt like it get taken out so quickly. Like, it was just, it was done, and then, logo.
Yeah, pretty much. Just Diggle hanging on the back of a truck for 20 seconds.
Yeah, pretty much. So the action stuff was fine. Flashbacks, they did something different. It wasn't all these flashbacks.
Aside from the very last one, much better.
I wouldn't say it was much better. I think they were equally felt kind of pointless, to be honest.
I thought they were more interesting, personally.
I think they were that interesting. I thought, this is my problem with the flashbacks, because they only have like 4 flashback scenes in an episode, they have to make it so simplistic and so...
Yeah.
Like, so... You know, one scene they establish that they're brothers, next scene, he tries to like tell them to like steal something to bribe them or whatever, make money, and he refuses. Then you see Diggle get upset in the next scene, and then in the last scene we find out they actually did do
Yeah.
the illegal thing,
Yeah,
actually
if
steal the
you,
drugs.
you put it like that, of course it's simplistic. But I just thought when I was watching it, it was just more interesting to watch than
I
any
don't
of
think
the
it was,
island
and
stuff.
part of my problem with the Arrow flashbacks, when they're not particularly the island ones, because the island ones they just go and film in an islandy place and it's fine. I feel like all the ones that were in Hong Kong, and then this one as well, I feel like everything felt so fake. Like they're so obviously not in this place that they're meant to be in.
Yeah.
It just feels like they're on a set or they're in some random, spot in
the-
Canada.
I think the first one suffered from it less than the others. Weirdly, the ones in the camp felt faker than the one outside in the world.
But I don't think they were interesting at all. I think these flashbacks were boring, and they were there and they gave us no real information. Like none of it added to the dynamics between the two brothers. We literally needed none of the information. All it really did was show that the main guy who's part of was it Shadow Spy, which is the
Shadow
most
Spire.
Shadow Spire, which is the most over the top name for a spy organization I've ever heard. And by the way, and this is something this show does all the time as well, which really annoys me. Almost every time a new character shows up, we'll see one of them they'll pop up in one of the flashbacks. It's like, oh, we're introduced to this character in this flashback in this episode, and they're in the episode in present days. But they do it so, which would be fine if the flashbacks had nothing to do with the main characters.
Yeah.
I just think it's always so coincidental that, oh, we get these flashbacks. Oh, that happens to be the character that's also shown up in present day at this exact moment.
See, I didn't mind that with like Andy and then Diggle because it kind of that made sense because it was their episode. I get it. It was when at the very end when it connected it to the guy on the island.
Andy was already there though. It wasn't him I had the problem with. It was the bad guy.
Yeah, it's just that's what I mean. Like the rest of it was like it works, but then why is this connected? Why does it have to be connected?
Because that makes the flashbacks feel slightly more important when they're not. They're completely worthless. But that makes it feel important because it's connected to what's going on in the island. But you didn't actually learn anything. You know this guy's just there for magic stuff, and this told you no more of that.
No, absolutely not. I didn't like that one at all.
Literally, all this told us was, he ran into Diggle's brother.
It told us that he traded some opium because he's that fixated on getting to this island with the magic power stuff, I suppose.
Yeah.
That really matters.
Yeah. That's what happened. Anything else that happened?
Maybe talk about the Diggle and his brother relationship in general.
Yeah. Like every time this show resolves a relationship like that, it always feels very on the surface and easy to me, and this one felt no different.
Yeah. See, I was enjoying it up till the resolution. It felt interesting, more interesting. Like it wasn't just a simple thing because there was this. Obviously, they're brothers, and he has this like attachment to him, but he knows that he's not a good guy, and he doesn't like him for that. I thought that that dynamic over the last few episodes in general has been relatively interesting.
I don't know. These old brother things felt very thin to me. The fact that he was even alive felt kind of forced, and then he's got all this dark past.
Once I got over that.
Did Diggle ever even mention his dark past in the whole the first 3 seasons when we thought he was dead? There was never any hint.
See, that's the thing. I can get over that because it's that thing of you glorify someone when you haven't got them. So it's like you choose to remember them in a different way. So you wouldn't want to diminish the memory of his brother by speaking of him like that. He would remember him, the good parts of him.
Sure, whatever.
That feels like a real thing to do to me, though.
Maybe, I don't know. It felt everything about it felt really easy to me.
The ending definitely did, especially.
The way the characters get into fights and then resolve issues on Arrow has never worked for me. It always feels really on the surface, really easy, resolves and just.
Yeah, that's why the resolution was annoying because this tension between them has gone on for 3 or 4 episodes now. And there was a good focus of this one. A good part of this episode was this tension between them, which is more interesting than the resolution. I kind of wish that had kind of... It still, the resolution didn't feel earned. I agree with that. But I enjoyed seeing the bit before it.
Okay. Well, that's me done. I'm not... Let's wrap this up. So, that's Arrow Season 4, Episode 11. I guess we'll be back next week with the next one.